on the screen, Joe, you won't be able to see this, but the viewers will be able to. This is the EPA chart for the 2025 NFL
This is
season.
a fake stat, by the way.
And Joey, if you're watching, you'll be able to see it eventually.
I'm
But
gonna pull.
yeah, pull it up. So this is the chart that honestly is probably going to represent 2025 as a whole, because week 18 is going to be a garbage week for a lot of teams. And so this is going to show you how pretty much every team played during their meaningful football games this year. And what you should see is that in this upper right-hand corner is where you want to be. That means you have a great offense and a great defense. Right now we see the two kind of yin and yangs, the Seahawks and the Rams. To me, they are the two best teams in the NFL, and the EPA chart reflects that. And what else does the EPA chart show us? In this middle right here is teams that are just kind of average at both. That's where you find your fraudulent 2022 Minnesota Vikings teams, who were like 13-4, but they were actually right around this middle spot in the EPA chart. And this chart should be able to foreshadow us what is going to happen in this year's playoffs. And looking at the AFC teams, looking at the Texans, you can see clearly that although they don't have as good an offense as the Jaguars or the Patriots or the Broncos, by EPA, we can see that their defense is by far the best when it comes to EPA, kind of similar to how the Patriots offense is. But I'm going to call out the schedule there, because when you look at the schedules, the Texans had one of the hardest in the NFL and the Patriots had the easiest by a long shot. So that's why I have the Texans number 3 as my third best team in the NFL and my best team in the AFC. I really believe in what their defense is. I've always been a big defender of CJ Stroud, calling the whole sophomore slump theory kind of ridiculous.
They look better though with Davis Mills. Yes, he's there, Malik Willis.
Well, Davis Mills is a good backup, but I'm not going to go ahead and say they looked better with Malik Willis. I mean, that's just not true. I mean,
I think it's a fact.
Davis Mills is a good backup, and they should be glad they have him. But and they even won some big games with him this year, and I'll give him his credit. But I think all that matters is that CJ Stroud, your presumed starter, I will say, just for you, Joey, is playing well now. He is playing well. Jaden Higgins is breaking out too, and this Chargers team, it looked like last year in the playoffs, but it was honestly. It was even more impressive by the Texans offense in this one. So I hope you guys enjoyed that little EPA chart. You guys got to go find that. It's such a great tool. And yeah, that's kind of how I view the sort of AFC finale for the playoff seeding and all that kind of stuff. Kind of a nothing burger, to be honest, for a lot of this week 17.
Is this chart saying Dallas has an elite offense but the worst defensive football?
It is saying quite precisely that the Cowboys have the most atrocious. It actually wasn't even showing up, I think, on the camera because it was so low.
It
got
is.
cut off.
It's in the bottom. It's the only team in the bottom right corner.
I will put it back because it is. Yes, this also backs up the video of what's stopping Dak Prescott very well. You can see the Cowboys in that bottom right corner. So lonely. No one's even close to as bad as they are on defense, even after all the big moves that they made. It only lasted like 2 weeks, and
that just tells me how much they have defensive talent. It's just Eberflus has no idea how to use them. Like that's what I'm getting from that whole thing. Really, the Quinnen Williams trade tells me that because I feel like we got Quinnen Williams. I know he's one of the best players in football, and he's not seeing it.
Yeah, well, I think you guys are having a little bit of give up syndrome right now, but I mean the offense, even beyond all that, is still grading out as about the third best in the NFL, actually ahead of the Rams.
Yep.
And the Packers are progressing.
They look to be like the exact same team.
Yeah,
how atrocious Dallas' defense is.
And then when you look at defense, it's Texans, Seahawks, Browns, Vikings, Jaguars, and Rams. Very, very interesting.
It's the Texans and Seattle and a huge, massive gap when it comes to defense.
Yeah, that's right. So
is that our Super Bowl matchup? Is that what we're going to predict right here?
Texans, right now? I think Texans, Seahawks, or Texans, Rams is probably what I would say right now.
I like that. I like that a lot. I like that the chart kind of reaffirms that too.
Yeah, and that chart, you got to understand. I'm not I think if I've spent some time and trying to figure out what stat seems to be the best for kind of predicting that stuff. And I saw a great video. I'll try to give him a shout out in the description. Describing what EPA means and how he was a Vikings fan and how looking back on that season, that EPA chart showing the Vikings in the middle showed exactly why they were upset, and why, it explained why he was so shocked, because he wasn't thinking about it that way. And we even saw the Chiefs team last year was kind of around the middle. You can sort through the years on that chart. You could see the Chiefs last year, they were winning by these very small margins against very mid teams, and you should try to be in the upper right hand corner on that chart. The only thing that kind of affects it is schedule, but that's it.
You know what this also tells me?
What
I also already believed. The Broncos are fraudulent.
It could tell you the Broncos are fraudulent. Yeah, if you look
where
at
they're at.
Yeah,
They're right next to the Chargers and the
Jaguars. The Jaguars are near them too.
The Jags would be the best of those four teams.
That's correct. They would be the best of the Eagles, Chargers, and Broncos. And the Bears, they're on this list
too. That's why I was saying. That's why I was kind of thinking that they are the Cowboys of previous seasons.
Yeah, the defense is still getting the turnovers though, so the EPA numbers look much better, because those are going to drastically change your chances of winning. But yeah, there's so sad seeing the Colts and what they were this year, and what they've turned into. I've taken the chart away, so I don't know how long you'll be able to see it. But
I have a pause, but I was going to ask you, between those five teams, like Jags, Bears, Broncos, Chargers, Eagles, like which one would you expect? If there was any of those five to go on a run, who would you expect it to be? History tells you it should be the Eagles. So
yeah, I mean, I feel like the Eagles should be the team, but actually the AFC is going to be much easier to go through, I would say. So I think, the AFC teams, who among them, it's between the Jaguars and the Broncos to me, and I would probably, honestly,
it's a huge ball never test right there.
Yeah, I mean, we saw the Jaguars.
It's the Jags. It's the Jags.
It is them, and it shows it on the chart too. But when we saw it, Trevor Lawrence's ceiling is definitely higher than Bo Nix's, and as long as he's hitting it, then they should be ranked above the Broncos, because their defense has played really well this year too. I mean, they're on about the same level as the Rams and the Vikings, which is really good. And they've even got some pieces that could be coming back next year and make them scary. So yeah, I'm big on the Jaguars, but I think that elite Texans defense is I think it's a little more desirable in my opinion. But